Good morning. Good morning. What is going on? I am frozen. Is it still What is going on here, guys? I'm frozen right now. Anyway, what's going on, traders? Good freaking morning and happy Money Tuesday. We are back in team. Guess what day it is? It is officially the final freaking day of January. I don't even want January to be over at this point in time because January has been a rock solid, amazing freaking month, team. So it is going to be the end of January. Nothing we can do about it. But the only thing that we can do right now at this point in time is make sure we don't give those profits back. And if we can, make sure we're taking some great trades today. Keep adding to the bottom line and finish the month strong and profitable, team. So I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to end January with some more profits. I'm excited to work with you guys, and I'm ready to rock and roll. I am ready to make it happen. So get fired up, team. It's a hot day. We got a lot of small cap pennies moving on up. We got some great opportunity today here with the SPY, and we do have even more opportunity this week. As you guys know, we have the Fed interest rate decision tomorrow, followed by the FOMC press conference, followed by some big name earnings and jobs data coming on up. So if you think that it's a wrap after today because January's done and we start February 1st tomorrow, hey guys, we're going to roll this freaking momentum right into the start of February. Start strong and profitable. We're definitely in the right type of market conditions to make that happen. So let's make sure we again close this month, team, with some force. Really close it out, have some fun, lock in those profits, make it happen, and then carry that momentum into next month, which will be tomorrow, baby. Let's dive into it. Let's not waste any time. Let's make it happen. But before we do that, let me try and fix the webcam real quick. Like, I'm frozen right now, and I don't know why I'm frozen. Hello. Okay. We are going to go ahead and just shut that camera down today. You guys cannot see me again as I am frozen right now, but it's all good. You don't need to see me to have some fun. You don't need to see me to lock in some profits. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into it. Let's not waste any time and let's talk about what we got going on for today. Good morning, everybody on YouTube, for our morning preparation session. All right, we got about 24 minutes till the market opens, 24 minutes to break everything down, 24 minutes to let you guys know exactly what I'm focused on for today and how I'm looking to lock in some profits. You guys say that the mic is muffled. The sound just got muffled for you big time. Okay, give me 1 second, guys. Again, I'm still setting everything back up from the repair of the PC. But yeah, give me 1 second. Your camera is live on YouTube off to the side, not frozen. No, the one inside of chat, guys. The one inside of chat. Give me 1 second. All right, everybody on YouTube, just bear with me. We got plenty of time here. It looks like we're running into some technical difficulties here, and I want to make sure that we can get all this set on up. So what's going on? Because again, I'm not seeing any issues. You got some echoes. You said the mic is sounding pretty odd. Give me 1 second, guys. I do apologize for all the technical issues lately, but let's figure this out. Yep. Okay. Give me 1 second. I can fix that. 1 second. Again, you guys know the issue with the computer is my settings don't save. Right? My settings never, ever, ever save correctly. But you guys should be good. There was definitely an echo, but you guys should be okay. All right, we good? Give me a little bit of give me a heads up, team, right? Mic check, mic check. How we doing right now? Everything should be all set. Again, thank you guys for your patience over on YouTube. Those that are tuning in right now to learn a little bit, to get prepared. You definitely didn't tune in to watch me change settings on my computer, but I appreciate you guys' patience. All right, just want to make sure everything's dialed in. You would think that once you make an adjustment to a setting on your computer, it would like save, but you got to go back and readjust it every single morning. So it's a bit of a pain in the butt. All right, but we're good, right? We're all set. Good morning, everybody. How we doing? Better. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Trader Adam H, Matthew Allen. Good morning, everybody inside the chat. We got to make up a couple of minutes here now. We're going to dive right into it. We're going to talk about what we have going on for today very quickly, but very thoroughly, as I want to make sure everybody is prepared and on top of the right stocks. All right, number one penny stock today at this point in time, I still believe is going to be MSGM. GM. So they regained full compliance with NASDAQ listing rules here. All right. So here we had a $1 million bet on motorsports games. So you have a lot of press releases coming on out that's really bringing in some great action with MSGM. And what really got this thing going was that press release, that article stating that there was a $1 million bet here on MSGM. And then here on top of that, right, you do have MSGM regaining full compliance with NASDAQ listing rules. And they did that without any kind of reverse stock split. So that right there alone may be bringing in some hype, some action. And right now, that's why we have the hype and the action, right? The stock is up right now at this point in time, 200%. The stock's trading 6 million shares on average, 100,000 shares over the last 6 months on average. And it's a very, very low float stock. And then they naturally were able to regain compliance with NASDAQ listing rules. Most of the time, what you see is the company has to issue a reverse stock split just to regain some of those NASDAQ listing requirements if they're under, say, $1 for more than like 6 months, for example. But MGSM getting a lot of great action right now at this point in time. Again, the stock is super consistent. The stock is holding its gains. It's not dumping on off. Right now at this point in time, we absolutely want to keep this one on high watch. And to top it off, right, investor Mike Zoy reported a purchase of 338,000 shares at an average price of $2.95 a share in a Form 4 filing here on Monday. So to add on top of that, we had a Form 4 to really back this on up. So MGSM right now is definitely looking like it's the number one stock of the day. And a lot of traders would say, but Josh, it's already up 200%. The stock, could definitely dump on back down. It's overextended. Well, you wouldn't be incorrect by saying, why would I want to take this long, right? The stock just went from 263 trading at $8. Like, how much more room to the upside could it go, right? If the market conditions were weak, if market conditions were slow and choppy and not hot, I would say, yeah, you guys are 100% correct. Like, this stock has higher probabilities of dumping on off versus ripping on up. But take a peek at the market conditions over the last few weeks. Penny stocks have been hot. Penny stocks have been holding their gains. A lot of these penny stocks have been continuing to rip and run even when they open on up 100, 150%. There's a lot of action in this market. Again, market conditions are hot, so we can continue to see the stock rip and run to the upside. So let's break it down. Where can we see the stock go today? Well, if we get an 875 break team, we can see the stock spike on up quickly to $10. It's the 875 rule. When you have low float, volatile penny stocks break 875, they like to spike on up to $10 very quick, very fast. So we'll definitely be looking for a potential 875 break today here with MSGM. At this point in time, we'd like to see if we can stay above this trend line. Okay, if we can hold this trend line at the start of the day, we can be looking for entries for a quick spike up to that 875 level. And at any point in time we break 875, we know we could spike on up here to $10, right? If we ever crack this trend line, it's okay, right? It's a short-term trend line. If we crack it, we just know that we're going to come back down towards around that $7 support here on MGSM. But if at any point in time we crack below $7 and we see $7 now holding the stock down as resistance, we could definitely dump on off towards around $5, right? So at any point in time we're long on this and we start to dip below $7, we crack below $7 and we can't get back above it, we definitely don't want to be long here on MSGM because the next major level of support here is all the way back down at $5. So ideally, in a perfect world, let's see if we can hold above this trend line, right? Hold the trend line, open on up, spike on up to 875, right? We can definitely have a trade here. And then, hey, maybe we get an 875 break. We can leave a runner for a nice big rip and run up to $10. Or let it crack the trend line, let it dip on down towards around $7 support, and then let's see if it can hold $7 as support. And if so, we will be looking to take this long off 7 at that point in time, right? So let's definitely keep MSGM on high watch. Okay, it's a very low float, great volume, great press release, great action. It's really consistent. It's honoring its technicals, right? Steve took the break of the downtrend this morning from that call out inside a chat. The stock had a nice dollar rip to the upside. Again, it's clean. It's consistent. It's predictable. It's honoring its technicals. It's not choppy. I like a stock that's clean and consistent in pre-market. Let's see if it can continue to be clean and consistent at the start of the day. Number one stock to be watching here at 9:30 team, MSG Okay. I also do want to be watching Carvana, CVNA. So CVNA is like one of the most heavily shorted stocks in the market at this point in time when looking at Ortex short interest data, right? When you look at Ortex short interest data, it's number 2 on the list, right? 78% is the free float on the loan, right? 67% is the short interest percentage, right? This is a very, very heavily shorted stock. And the higher it goes, the more chances we see to get a big time short squeeze. And we really started to see some of that action yesterday, right? Look at that volume, right? We went from Friday's volume of around 36 million. Yesterday, we traded 108 million shares, right? That was a 3x difference from Friday to Monday. So just from Friday to Monday, we saw 3 times more volume move on in. It's an extremely shorted stock. On top of that, what I believe is really moving Carvana at this point in time, besides the short squeeze, besides the hype, besides everything else that we've been seeing, is there's been a lot of rumors and articles floating around that the used car market is not going to take as big of a hit as what analysts has been expecting for the last 6 to 12 months since around COVID, right? COVID really brought in a lot of demand to the used car market. There wasn't a lot of inventory. Prices went sky high. A lot of analysts thought that 2023 was going to be the year that demand slowed down for used cars, right? There's more inventory, which naturally brings down the prices. And then companies and stocks like Carvana, take a hit based on that. But a lot of analysts now are not actually predicting that. They think that there could still be a lot of demand and that used car prices could stay firm and get stuck. And again, that's been bringing in a lot of hype, in my opinion, since we saw that article published last Thursday. And then that's when we started to see some great action, even more action with some of these car retailers, such as CVNA. So again, there's a lot of reasons as to why the stock is ripping on up and moving at this point in time. And that's the thing, guys. As long as there's hype, as long as there's focus, as long as there's activity and volume, the stock is tradable. And yesterday, there was a really, really clean textbook trade here that we took advantage of right at the start of the day. I definitely want to keep CVNA on high watch, as I believe CVNA can continue to rip and run to the upside. We got a slight little trend line here on Carvana, right? So go back to yesterday's first pullback low, that initial halt level. We held it here yesterday. We're bouncing off of it several times here in pre-market. So as long as CVNA can hold above this trend line, we're considered to be bullish, right? At any point in time we crack the trend line, we're bearish. We don't want to be long. But if we can hold this trend line and we can stay above yesterday's high a day, right around 1076, we can definitely see Carvana get a nice little spike on up and go on its next leg to the upside. So we do have 1076 support, yesterday's resistance right around yesterday's high a day, also is in line with that trend line from yesterday as well. So we have 1076 support at this point in time. As long as we hold that level, we're definitely thinking about getting long here on CVNA for the spike back up to 1144. At any point in time, we start to break 1144. We have room to 12, and then we have some room up to $12.80. Right now, at this point in time, I believe CVNA should be number 2 on the watch list right at the start of the day, guys. All right, so number 1, MSGM. Number 2, CVNA. We're actually going to start taking HILS, and we're going to put it on a back burner at this point in time. It had great potential. It couldn't get that break over 176. So right now at this point in time, go ahead and take HILS, move it to the back burner. It's still on the watch list because there was a really good press release. It's a nice low float stock. It's trading great volume. It's up 90%, but it's definitely not one of our top 3 stocks to be watching right at 9:30. But they did sign an exclusive option agreement for next generation anti-agents for drug-resistant cancer. So we have a great cancer-related press release. Nice low-float stock. It's $4 million in float. It's trading impressive volume. It's trading 9 million shares this morning. On average, 300,000. It got a big-time rip to the upside. It's still up 100%. But right now, it's just fading and falling. It's lost the attention, right? It's lost the volume. It's lost the focus, right? It's just fading on off. But at some point today, we could definitely see a nice big bounce and then see some attention return and see the stock go on its next leg on up, right? So keep it on watch, back burner it at this point in time because there's still potential to see the stock move on up a little bit today. That's going to be on HILS, right? And then lastly, we have CNTX, right? So CNTX this morning at 7:30 dropped a pretty decent press release, right? So we do have a breast cancer related press release. Dive inside the chat, check that out, right? They received FDA approval regarding their breast cancer studies and treatments. So that is a killer press release here with CNTX, right? CNTX is up 88% at this point in time, trading 20 million shares on average, 600,000. And it's a nice low float stock as well, coming in at 13.7 million in float. And check out CNTX. It's clean, it's consistent, it's moving on up, it's not fading on down. We can clearly see CNTX has attention. There are traders on this stock. It seems predictable, it's pretty consistent. Compare it to HILS, right? Which one do you want to be watching? Which one do you think has 80% of the attention, 80% of the focus? Where do you think traders are right now at this point in time? Well, HILS is fading and falling, right? So we have less buyers on this stock. Where do you think the buyers are at this point in time? Well, we can clearly see that we have some good focus and more buyers here on CNTX. So that's why we're choosing CNTX as one of our top 3 compared to HILS, because we can clearly see this is where everybody is at this point in time. All right. So CNTX, number 3, right at the start of the day, guys. We do have some support back down around 115. We ever start cracking below 115 here on CNTX, our next lower level of support will be back down around 96 cents. At this point in time, we are coming up into that spiking high resistance at 129, right? We gapped up here on January 9th. We spiked up, tried to fill this gap at 129, and then dumped on back down. Right now, where are we at? 129 resistance. So here's the deal with CNTX. If CNTX really struggles to get above that 129, right? It's already pretty much filled that gap from the gap and spike here on the 9th, right? We gapped up on the 9th. We spiked on up to 129. That was pretty much filling this gap that was created here in December. So if we open on up today with CNTX and we cannot break above 129 and we are struggling and we see that it is a very, very strong level of resistance, we actually want to be playing the short for that potential dump, right? Look at the last time the stock gapped up massively. It's gone up into resistance and it dumped on back down, making that a fantastic, fantastic short. If we see CNTX open on up, we get a quick little spike, and we just can't break through these resistance levels, we can expect to see a lot of sellers move on in and this stock dump on back down. All right. So at any point in time, we see that spike on up into resistance. We can't break through it. We would be looking for a short. Okay. A to the penny gap fill puts you at 130.19, right? So if we truly, truly fill the gap from the close before the gap down, right? The candle close before the massive gap down was at 139. That would be a to the penny gap fill. So if we do break over that prior spiking high at 129, we can see the spike up to 139 here on CNTX. If we continue the rip and run to the upside and we continue to spike on up, we could see the stock as high as the 200 SMA right there at 147. Okay. So we could see some great action out of the gate. We could see this stock break above this 129, hold this 129, and we could definitely look to play this long up to 139 and then 147. There's definitely some potential to continue to see the stock rip and run to the upside and spike on up. But at any point in time, we get that spike into one of these levels of resistance and we can't continue to break on out. We're looking weak. And at any point in time, it looks like we're starting to roll on over. I would be looking to short the stock back down for a possible dump like we saw here on January 9th. Now, how low could we see CNTX go, right? We could see CNTX all the way back down towards around 115 support. And at any point in time, we start cracking below 115 support, we can definitely see this dump on back down towards around 96 cents, right? So right now at this point in time, we definitely have some great opportunity to the long side here with CNTX, but at some point in time today, we can definitely see the stock set up for a fantastic short, and we can definitely look to get involved to the short side. So once again, you got MSGM. This is going to be one of our top 3 stocks to start the day. Number 2, CVNA, one of our top 3 stocks, and then CNTX as well. Lastly, HILS on the back burner. Only reason it's a back burner at this point in time, we have a good press release. It's a low float stock, trading good volume. We could see HILS come back down to $1, bounce. And if we get a strong enough bounce at $1 and we see some volume, it may bring attention back in. We could see traders migrate back on over to HILS, and it could absolutely rip and run and spike on up. That's why we want to keep the stock on high watch to see if we do indeed get that bounce down towards around $1 today, right? Those are going to be the top penny stocks to be keeping on watch, team, right? Now, the moment you've all been waiting for, right? What's your SPY analysis today, Josh? What do you think is going to happen with the SPY? At this point in time, I'm actually leaning to the bullish side, and here's why. Take a look at the SPY. Throw it a 1 hour time frame. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this drawing set because you're probably like, Josh, you got a lot of green lines and orange lines. I'm a little confused at this point in time. Let's start fresh. We have about 5 minutes until the market opens on up. So at this point in time, what are we seeing with the SPY? Well, we just came down and we bounced off this trend line. I know we took a little bit of heat here, right? We definitely dipped below it here momentarily. We technically cracked that trend line, but we snapped back above it instantaneously, which we are validating this trend line at this point in time. Number one, we came down to the trend line and we bounced. We're still above the trend line. We're still bullish at this point in time. What did we also do this morning? We actually came through and we broke that downtrend, right? So we had a nice little downtrend from Friday's high a day, connected here yesterday, connected again in pre-market, connected again right here, right around 8 o'clock, and then we curled on up for a nice big break. So really look at just those 2 trend lines. You had a downtrend, you have an uptrend. We came into our uptrend, we held it as support, we bounced. We're still above the trend line. We're bullish. We just broke the downtrend, went from the bearish side of the downtrend to the bullish side of the downtrend. So we have 2 bullish indications right now at this point in time here with the SPY. And to top it off, we just broke back above our $400 level of resistance. Now that's going to hold, or ideally hold on up as support. We got right back above $400. So I do believe at this point in time, based on what we just saw with the SPY, we broke that downtrend. We held above our uptrend. We broke back above 400. I believe right now at this point in time, as long as we stay above $400 and hold it as support, that we continue to see the SPY move on up ahead of the Fed interest rate decision. I believe we see the SPY move on up ahead of earnings tonight, right? Tonight, we do have, I think it's AMD and Snap, not a big deal, but Wednesday and Thursday are the big mega cap names. You got Meta, you got Amazon, you got Apple, you got Alphabet, you got those big mega cap names that equate to like 15 to 20% of the SPY's weight reporting in the next couple of days. But I do believe we get some slow, steady movement to the upside. It may be choppy. It may be challenging to trade, but I do believe we get that slow, steady grind to the upside today into tomorrow ahead of the Fed's interest rate decision, ahead of the FOMC press conference. And at this point in time, the technicals are backing that up. We got back above 400. We broke the downtrend. We came down and bounced off the uptrend. The technicals suggest bullish, right? And then we know that the market has historically moved up slow and steady ahead of, Fed press releases, right? FOMC conferences, FOMC minutes, and what we have tomorrow, which is the Fed's interest rate decision. So with all of that put together, I believe the SPY moves on up a little bit higher today. So we'll be looking for the SPY to stay above $400. Okay, as long as the SPY stays above $400, I want to play calls back up to these pre-market highs of 402. At any point in time, the SPY breaks above 402, we will have room to 403. we will have room up towards around 403.85. And then yesterday's resistance right around 405. So those are going to be your targets to the upside today on the SPY. Again, if we hold above 400 bucks at the start of the day, I want to play calls with stops right below 400 bucks. First target, pre-market highs, 402, right? And then if we leave a runner on the table, which I think is a great idea to leave a runner today, 403 target, 403.85, and then 405. But you also need to have a short plan in place. I don't care how convicted and convinced you are. I don't care how many separate reasons there are to be playing calls today. You always need to have a backup plan and have a short plan in place. And the short plan is going to be if we crack back below 400 and we see 400 now holding as resistance. If we ever get a crack and a retest at $400 as resistance, that's when we look to play put contracts for the drop back down to these pre-market lows, which also puts you around that trend line from back in early January. All right, so that's going to be your put plan here today on the SPY. If we crack and retest 400, stay below it as resistance, we'll play puts back down into the low 398s, guys. Right now at this point in time, we got about 20 seconds until the market opens on up. Let's have a fun day. Let's have an awesome day. Let's make sure we only take the best of the best trades, those quality trades, high probability setups, knowing that the profits will follow. Let's end the month of January strong and profitable. Let's have some fun. Let's make it happen. The market is now open, ladies and gentlemen. P&L up on the live stream, right? This morning, I was trading HILS. At the point, I was up over $1,000 in profit. I did give a little bit of that back on the last position because I had to walk away. I was down. And again, I needed to close that position on HILS. If I would have held it just a little bit longer, I would be extremely profitable right now at this point in time. But here's the deal. I was going to be distracted. I was losing my focus. I needed to do the right thing and close the trade. And I did close it. I gave back some of my profits, but we're still starting the day nice and profitable, guys. All right. So let's get to it. Let's have some fun. Let's lock in those profits and let's crush it. Tyler, what's up, brother man? Good morning, Jose, Hunter, Stir, Corey, Robert. What's going on, traders? Again, good morning. Happy Tuesday, final day of January. We're going to make it happen. We're going to have some fun. We're going to lock in some profits. All right, I need to go ahead and get my options account loaded on up. I am going to be opening up a small options account this afternoon, guys. So you guys wanted a small account challenge for options. You guys are going to get it. We're going to start rocking a small account for options here on probably E-Trade. Just because of all the technical issues with Fidelity. Maybe it's TD Ameritrade. We'll see. But either way, I'm going to get that account set up, start the funding process, and then here before you know it, we're officially going to be trading a small options account with the team inside of chat. So we're going to have some fun with it. Still be trading the larger options account. We'll still be trading the equities account, still be trading futures periodically. We'll be putting some focus on growing that small options account with you guys inside of chat. All right, like I said, CNTX team. If we ever top out at these levels of resistance, I want to look for a possible short here on CNTX. So here's the deal. Here's my trade plan, okay? If we ever hit these levels of resistance, which we're hitting these levels of resistance right now at this point in time, here on CNTX, if we ever top out and then come through and crack this trend line, I will absolutely short CNTX, expecting this to flip red on the day and dump on down like it did the 9th of January. All right, ladies and gentlemen, over on YouTube, thank you so much for your patience this morning with the technical issues. That obviously put me about 5 to 10 minutes behind, so I felt a little rushed, having to kind of blow through this very quickly, but still make it as thorough as possible. Usually when I have plenty of time, it's a little bit more calm. I don't feel like I'm talking as fast. Today was definitely a little bit rushed due to some of those initial technical issues. So I thank you guys so much for your patience, your understanding. Thank you guys so much for tuning in as well. We do this every single morning at 9 o'clock until 9:30. Again, to get you prepared for the day, what the top stocks are, why they're the top stocks, give you guys some of my plans for the day, get you guys prepared on the SPY, what I'm looking for, what I expect. And hopefully, you guys were able to take something away from this today, learn something, get prepared, take it, apply it, make it happen. Hopefully, you guys can lock in some profits. Have an amazing Tuesday. End your month strong and profitable. Don't give any of your profits back. All right. I'll see you back here tomorrow morning, TikTok 8:15, here on YouTube, right at 9 o'clock for our pre-market stock selection. Have a good day. End your month strong. I'll see you guys back here tomorrow. All right, team, let's get it going. Let's make it happen. Options account is now loaded on up, right? Just loaded it, as you guys can see. Boop. There is nothing right now in that account. Haven't taken a single trade. Obviously, the market just opened on up. Right now, we are halted here on CNTX. We are halted right now at this point in time on CNTX. This will be live at 9:37:59. So we got about 3 minutes to go here. CVNA team, I'm telling you what, if CVNA holds this trend line and stays above 1075, this looks great for a long, right? Your risk is nice and tight. You can risk literally 15 to 20 cents, and you have potential to see CVNA spike back on up to about $11.44. So keep this on high watch above yesterday's high a day. That's resistance. We're above it now. Want to see that level turn into support. And we also want to see the stock hold above the trend line right around 1075. Keep CVNA on high watch. If you ever see the developments and you ever see the type of price action that suggests a red to green move, you never know. Maybe you get some kind of red to green move. It's worth keeping on watch at this point in time. It is starting to crack on down here pretty hard and heavy. MGSM for a possible bounce at 7. I like it. I like a possible dip buy here. MSGM right around $7. We're also looking for a break of this downtrend, guys. We're also looking for a break of the downtrend here on MSGM. So high watch at this point in time. Looking for a $7 bounce. We would like to see a nice higher low formation before the break of the downtrend. If we ever get a higher low and then we start curling in for a break of this downtrend, I'm absolutely jumping into the long side. MSGM on high watch for a break of this downtrend, team. That could definitely send the stock up to 850 and then 875. HILS halted up. Fantastic. HILS right now looking good to the upside. Opens and squeezes immediately into this halt. Let's keep this one on high watch. We have resistance at 167, right? 167 resistance, and then up towards around 193, guys. They're on HILS. CNTX will be live at 9:37:59. So you got about a minute to go here. CVNA's cracking on down. MSGM looks like we may be getting halted to the upside at this pace, guys. Nice $7 bounce. Beautiful $7 bounce. When I noticed it here, it was already right around 720, right? If I'm not into a trade, I'm late. That's my motto. If I already see the bounce, if I already see the move, I'm too late. The entries are as close to 7 as possible with stops under 7. If I would have bought this at 725, I would have just increased my risk by 25 cents. And I already saw the bounce take place. So I couldn't take it. But if you guys got an MSGM bounce off that support level, you guys are freaking crushing it right now. Make it happen. Good stuff. Out of the gate, I want to make sure you guys are all set ready to rock. I want to see you guys locking in some profits here. You got CNTX halted to the upside. You got HILS halted to the upside. At this pace, MSGM could be getting halted as well. Nice. Alan, you got a quick little $700 trade at the start of the day. You're leaving for work now. Leave for work. Get out of here. Enjoy your day, brother, man. Way to crush it. Way to make it happen. Lucid, guys, has a mid-candle breakout. LCID was a freaking monster the other day. LCID was an absolute monster stock the other day. And what are we doing right now? We got a red to green move, and we're setting up for this mid candle breakout, and it's meeting the criteria beautifully. It's meeting the criteria beautifully for a mid candle. Lucid on high watch at this point in time. There was a short. Okay, that's fantastic. We gapped up, failed the halt strategy here on CNTX. Now we're getting halted to the downside. I am looking to short CNTX at this point in time if we ever crack this trend line, guys. All right, now halted to the downside. Catherine just added 550 on MSGM. Way to go, Catherine. Great trade off $7 for the break of that downtrend. Way to get after it. Way to crush it. Good stuff. But yeah, Lucid, guys, I'm getting ready to take a trade here on Lucid. It's a riskier trade, but I want to get involved here. I want to get involved here on Lucid above 1150. If we crack below 1150, I'm getting out. Right? But I expect this to be a break and retest over the open, right? Lucid, break and retest over the open after a pretty decent red to green move here on LCID. And I'm curious to see if we get that break and retest over the open after a beautiful red to green move. And we're also setting up for a mid candle breakout. It's risky, again, because I'm getting in here as the stock already ripped from 1127 to 1160, right? It's already made a pretty big move, but that was a solid red to green move. And I've seen red to green moves that'll actually break the open, pull back, retest the open quickly, and then continue to spike on up. Then to top it off, what did we have? A potential, right, mid candle breakout. Riskier trade, worth the risk, got in above 1150, didn't hold, got out quick. I lost $50 on that trade. Well worth the risk. Going to continue to keep LCID on high watch, though, guys. On high watch. This has a lot of potential to go on another massive move to the upside. All right, so let's keep LCID here. High watch. I like mid-candle breakouts. Right now, we could definitely see that mid-candle breakout. HILS. Okay, HILS is live. So it actually gapped down, team. It actually gapped down out of the halt, but we are starting to break that halt level. HILS has potential to squeeze up towards around 167 here. We do have potential to squeeze up towards around 167 and then 193 here on HILS. I just did buy two YOLO call options on Lucid. I took Friday's expiration on Lucid, $11 strike calls, right? Two of them. That's a $200 investment, right? I am investing what I'm willing to risk here on LCID. I like the big time move on Friday, right? Love the big time move on Friday. I like the mid candle breakout. I like the red to green move. Is it risky? Absolutely. Do I want to put a $10,000 investment into this? Absolutely not. But am I willing to take, say, $200 to $300 and throw it at Lucid and see what it does off that potential mid candle breakout and see if it goes on a big time rip and run? Yes. My position here is only two calls at an $11 strike. So I'm in the money, and this expires Friday. So if it's going to have a mid candle breakout today, it's going to have a mid candle breakout and potentially spike back up to Friday's high a day. But if it does nothing and these expire worthless, guess what my risk is? It's my investment of $200. That is my risk. I bought two calls here that expire again Friday, and I bought the $11 strikes. You would think of that as more of a like a YOLO trade, right? It's like a little teeny weeny, position yourself correctly, YOLO kind of trade. And we'll just see what it does for the mid candle. first trading day of the week. Catherine, you gotta get out of here, girl. What are you doing? Catherine, first trading day of this week. Over $1,300 and 34 minutes of work technically done. Woo, man, you fire me up. All right. Challenge accepted, Catherine. Challenge accepted. Let's lock in some profits. Let's crush